Hi, hello everyone. This is speaking again with a new series of automatic Excel with Python. So this is actually we are going to cover up the entire tutorial from end to end. So in order to automate Excel with Python, we need some requirements. So let me tell you what are the things we require. One is you have to install the advanced version of latest version of Python in your system, and then if you're familiar with Python command prompt, from there itself, if you are familiar or if you're comfortable to run your program, you can just run from your prompt. If not, you can install any IDE like PyCharm, Sublime Text, or Visual Studio Code, any IDEs we can install. And as usual, since we are going to automate with Excel, we need Microsoft Excel. So these three things are actually really needed. And those who know already VBA, for them this will be little more easy. Whereas for others also it is going to be easy only. It is not going to be tough. In day one, we are going to learn how to create a new workbook using Python, and in the workbook, how to add new worksheets, how to retrieve the name of the worksheet, and how to rename it, and how to save the workbook. This is what we are going to learn in day one. Now let's start with the demo of how to create the Excel workbook from Python. So as I already said in the introduction part, I have already installed my advanced version of Python plus PyCharm I already installed. So what is the next step? Now you installed your Python as well as you have some IDE, either the Sublime Text or PyCharm or Visual Studio Code, whatever it is. Now, in order to automate with Excel, we need some specific libraries. So in that, the basic library is OpenPyExcel. So the basic library is OpenPyExcel. So that we have to install first. So this is actually my PyCharm screen. In that down, if you click in the terminal, this will be displayed. And in this terminal, what you do is you just give this command pip install OpenPyExcel. So this actually install your OpenPyExcel libraries into your Python. Now I have already installed it. So just for your understanding, I am just again showing this command pip followed by install. Then the library name is OpenPyExcel. Now I just installed my library. Now what is next? So here, what I'm going to do is just keep your project folder and right click on new. In the new file, you just select Python file. So from the drop down, you just select Python file and give some name. So now, for example, I'm going to give check. So if you see here, so with this name check and with the extension py, one file is created. Now here only we are going to do our program. Now, what is the first step? So in order to automate Excel from Python, first we have to import the library. So for that, we should use the statement called import followed by whatever the library you want to import, you have to mention that library name. So here my library is actually OpenPyExcel. So I have imported OpenPyExcel. In case if you don't install, if you did not install your OpenPyExcel, there it pops up an error. So make sure that before you are importing any libraries that you are already installed it. Then after that you try to import it. Now OpenPyExcel I already installed. So I am just importing now. Then what is our objective? So my main intention of today's tutorial is how to create one blank new workbook from Python in Excel. So for that, what I'm going to do is from the library OpenPyExcel, I'm going to import some sub libraries, that is something like sub packages, that is workbook, right? First I imported my main library OpenPyXL. From that, I'm importing the workbook library where it has some privileges of creating the workbook, adding sheets, deleting the sheets, and renaming the sheets, saving the workbook, everything. So for that, I have imported workbook from OpenPyXL. Now, what is next? I wanted to create one new workbook, and that workbook has to be assigned to some variable. Those who know VBA, they already know about the, they will assign the workbook or worksheets into an object variable. That is, see in Excel, each and everything is actually called it as an object. For example, workbook, worksheet, even the range, as well as your chart, images, everything is actually called it as an object. So in order to assign that, we will be using a object variable by using the keyword set. Whereas in Python, directly we can declare. So here, I'm just going to use the variable called WB. So with this WB, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a workbook. So this is actually a method. Workbook of is actually a method which creates a new Excel workbook, and that will be assigned into the variable WB. And this WB you can give any name. There is no restriction, but make sure that it is following the protocols of variable naming. So what is the protocols for the variable naming the variables? First character should be alphabet. There is no special characters except underscore. After the first character alphabet, followed by you can give either underscore or numbers. So that is actually the naming protocols of variable. Now workbook of method will create a new workbook, and that object will be assigned into the variable WB. Now, whenever Python is created, as we all know, by default in workbook at least one worksheet will be there. So here also, when we are creating a workbook from Python, there will be one worksheet by default. No, so now we are going to check what is the name of that worksheet name. Before we identify the worksheet name, we have to assign that worksheet also into a variable. So for that, I'm just going to use the variable called ws equal to. Now, workbook is assigned to which variable? WB dot active. So what it means is in the workbook, in the newly created workbook, whichever the worksheet is active, that worksheet will be assigned to the variable WS. Now, just for testing purpose, we are going to print the name of the active worksheet. So if it is VBA, we will be using the name here. Instead of name, we are going to use title. We are going to use title. Now if you see, we have imported the library OpenPyXL, and from OpenPyXL we imported the workbook, and from workbook we call the method workbook of which creates a new workbook, and that workbook we assign into the variable WB, and in the WB whatever the active sheet that we assign into the worksheet variable WS. Then whatever the name of the worksheet we are trying to display here. Now, my program is done. How I'm going to run it? There are multiple ways to run this. Either you can go here, run, and here if you click run, it shows you the difference. What all the Python files are here, that it will display here. Out of that, you can select check. Or even from here also, you can just run the Python code by clicking this run button also you can, or even from prompt also you can write. Now it is showing an error in line number 5, that is workbook off. So that module is not available. So purposefully I just left that. Here you should be very careful when you are doing. It's purely case sensitive, so we have to be very careful whenever we are using the libraries or modules, whatever are available in the specific libraries. We should be very particular with the cases. So here W should be capital letter. Even here also W should be capital letter. Now I'm just going to rerun it. So now if you see in the terminal, your file is executed, and the name of the sheet, it is actually showing sheet, SHEET. Right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this wb dot save. I'm going to give some file name. Example, I'm giving 2.xlsx. 2.xlsx. Okay. So in this program we have created a new workbook, and we are trying to get the name of the active worksheet, and then we are just saving the created workbook with the file name called 2.xlsx. Let me run this, and now see here in this portion, if you see, there is no 2.xlsx. It's already there. We create. So now when I am running this with 3.xlsx, some file will be created. Now if you see here, there is no 3.xlsx. I am going to run this. So now this is executed. I'll just open and show you how the file looks. So 3.xlsx. So this is actually the Excel file which is created from Python. So there is only one sheet, and the name of the sheet is sheet, SHEET. Right. Now, what is next? Suppose in this worksheet, in any one range, I just wanted to give some value in in any one range. So Excel ranges we know. Like if it is VBA, we'll be using range dot something like that. But here directly you can give the range. Say for example, I'm giving in A2. A2, I'm going to give some value. That is hello from PA. Right? Now I'm going to run this, and I will open the 3.xlsx once again. I'll show you in A2. In A2, see in A2 you have hello from PK. That is whatever we had given in this code, that text has been given over there. Right. Now when maybe you may have a doubt. So already I have created 3.xlsx. When I am creating once again 3.xlsx, whether will I get any error message or how it is going to work? You will not get any error message. Instead of that, the previous file will be overwritten. The same name, new file will be created. So make sure that when you're going forward, when you're starting automation, just handling those kinds of things, you have to do it explicitly. Now, so here what we have done is we have created a new workbook, and in the worksheet in range A2 we have set some text and we saved that as a 3.xlsx. Now here I just wanted to introduce two things. One is absolute path and the other one is relative path. So what is absolute path and what is relative path? So first let's discuss about relative path. In this example, if you take relative path, so wherever the Python file is there, in the same folder, even this 3.xlsx also saved. But I don't want to save in this. I just wanted to save this 3.xls into my C drive test folder. This folder I wanted to save. So this is actually an absolute path. We will be giving a proper complete path with the file name where it has to be saved. So this is called actually absolute path. So are we allowed to give absolute path like this directly, or when we give this, what happens? So when you give this, you will be getting an error. I'll show you. See here, you will be getting an error. What is the reason for that? So for that, we have to import another library called os.path. Alright. Now I included os.path. I'm running. Will the files get saved or again I'm going to get error? You will be getting an error only again. The reason is instead of this slash, you have to give this one. So when you do this, this file will be saved into the folder test. Now I'm just going to run this. Now if you see, your code doesn't have any mistakes. So let me show you whether in C drive test folder this file is saved or not. So if you see here, this file 3.xls is saved. Once again, let me close this and open again. So this 3.xlsx is saved in C drive test folder. So this is how we can give absolute path. Whereas if you give just the file name with the extension, wherever you're in the current working directory, this file will be saved. I hope this is clear. Absolute path and relative path. Now, so how can I already there is only one worksheet. I wanted to create more worksheets. So how can I create it? So for that, see I'm going to use one more variable, that is ws1 equal to wv dot create create sheet, followed by you can give the title. So I'm just giving the name of the title is new, right? Now here, in case if you give print ws1 dot title, when you run this, see here now it is showing only ws name. Now by using this create sheet method of workbook, we created one more sheet with the name new, right? So when I'm running this, this will display both because I'm printing even ws title as well as ws1 title. So now you can see here sheet and one thing I just wanted to correct one thing. When you are doing relative path, even with the same name, if the file is there, that will be overridden. But when it comes to absolute path, you'll be getting an error message. So make sure that you are not giving the same name or just handle an exception. Now if you see here, there are two sheets. One is sheet and the other one is new. And let me open and show you. I just closed this. This is actually the previous file 3. I'm just closing this and I'm just opening the file 4. If you see here, sheet 1 is created. In A2 it is showing hello from PK and one more sheet is created, the name. That's all. It is very, very simple. So today in this lesson we learned about what is OpenPyExcel and how can we create a new workbook and how can we create a new worksheet, how can we get the name of the worksheet and how we can save the workbook in your system by using either absolute path or relative path. So just practice this today. I'll see you with the next lesson in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and if you feel this video is really useful for you, please subscribe and support for more videos. Thanks for watching.